Hello and welcome. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and today we will continue on our series on rebellion today. And we started talking previously on the art and beauty of rebellion, the art and beauty of rebellion. And I said a lot in our first episode. We highlighted so many things. We gave the definition of what rebellion is. If you did not join us on the previous episode, you can do well by going to my YouTube channel, Greatman Ayilara on YouTube, or just follow any of the instruction or contact below that is scrolling for you to get yourself updated. Now, we spoke about what rebellion is, and I gave a very profound definition. As a matter of fact, definition that is above or way beyond the natural, beyond the surface. And we also talk about what is so beautiful about rebellion. What is it that is so beautiful about rebellion? And then we also move on to if rebellion, asking ourselves if rebellion is a human nature. Is rebellion a human nature? And then because we try to establish that rebellion is a human nature from the perspective of our birth, from how the sperm swim into the egg and how mankind revolted against the womb to come into the limelight, we established that rebellion has always been part of our system. And we spoke at length on what evolution means, evolution and re-evolution, evolution and re-evolution. And there I spoke about the fact that civilization and every form of improvement, changes, and also transformation that we have attained so far as mankind was as a result of evolution. And every time we go back to evolution for it to repeat itself, we call it re-evolution. So when someone give you a contract of agreement or a deed of contract and they say, I'm going to deliver this to you, you are going to progress at this rate, we are going to get to this and this place, and they do not comfort with their own part of the agreement, what you do is to remind them of whatever it is that binds you guys together. And that is what we call revolution. We try to reenact evolution, reenactment of revolution, or doing evolution again is what we call revolution. And we said revolution doesn't have to be something that is going to be bringing about bloodshed, even though every single revolution that mankind has ever witnessed in this planet has always come from the instrument or the angle of bloodshed. But I'm saying that there should be a very tactical way for us to be able to remind the oppressors, the leaders, the spiritual leaders, and even God that this was not your promise to us. If we have actually fulfilled our own part. And today we will be going into why humans are subjugated when they can rebel. While human are get about this particular pictorial representation that I showed you when we were talking about it, when we started this series. And I give you this particular picture of this particular man with a cane. And I said the cane in his hand right now does not mean something that comes to you harshly. When they want to lure you into the chain of slavery, sometimes they can be very corny about it. They come with fake, false promises. They lure you into slavery with some sweet words because they know what you want to hear. Mankind always know how to tickle your fancy, and in order to subjugate you and subject you to their own rule and run your life according to their own mental faculty or their disposition towards life, they use every single instrument that tickles or resonates with you. If you will not take it easily, they come to you by force. But if you can take it easily, easy could mean they promise you love to put you under subjection. Sometimes they promise you heaven on earth to put you under subjection. A lot of things that mankind choose to subjugate one another. And then we say that it will only last as long as fellow mankind refuse to stand up to the tyranny of the day. Now, someone will say that let's leave it to God. that God will take care of these, God will do that, we need God's intervention and all of those. And I said, those who believe that God is going to come to their rescue always sacrifice their life on the altar of nothing. But those people who believe that they are their own God, and if they don't take responsibility, nothing gets done, they rewrite their own story and they believe that they are the one who can orchestrate their own destiny. On this planet, we recorded a certain man called Adolf Hitler, and he killed millions upon millions of people. And I believe strongly that religion was in existence then also. And while he was killing those people, they must have been praying. They must have been fasting. They must have been looking up to heaven for divine intervention. But nothing came to their rescue. They died for nothing. Until mankind like himself stood up and said, enough is enough. You will not go any further. Until mankind stood up to tyranny, nothing gets done. So I say that when you are looking for God, do not look up to the sky or the hills, asking for your help to come from there. Do not look up to the cloud of the firmament or what you call the heavens for divine intervention. You look inward yourself and bring into actualization every single expectation that you are looking for. If you have a definite expectation, if you have an expected end, it is now also left to you to work it out, to do it as you want it to be done, because nothing is coming from heaven above, nothing is coming from the sky. There is nothing like divine intervention if mankind do not tap into themselves and activate their own spiritual ability, either to say no or to say yes. But in all this while, they are making something called action, which is going to help them take responsibility. And from the picture, you could see that when all men stood up, the one who was the oppressor was also being suppressed. But one thing is that one man must always decide in his heart to say, I will be the one who go first. And this first man must not put into consideration what he will lose. And all mankind could be that certain man if all of us demand our right and choose not to be subjected into any form of slavery or whatever kind of false promises, the world will be a better place. In your place of work, in your marriage, in your business, everywhere. Not only is it enough for you to know your right, you must also demand it and request for it. And the process of doing this, they will label you. So the real essence of this particular series is to help you understand that labeling is a good thing. If you don't want to be called what you are, do not step up to do what you do. I say it again. If you don't want to be called what you are, do not ever step up to do what you do. So if you go against religion, they'll call you infidel, they'll call you antichrist, they'll call you a lot of things. If you go against the politics, they'll call you treasonable felon and all of those things. They will call you a lot of name, enemy of the state and all that. When you go against the tyranny of the husband in a home, they call you lawless woman and all of those things. See, when they try to label you as such, they are trying to take away your confidence, which you must not, under any circumstances, surrender or hand over to them. So we call you rebel because we don't want you to request for what you deserve or your change. We call you rebel because we are scared of you boarding from a caterpillar into a butterfly. We know the moment you get to the stage of becoming a butterfly, freedom is yours. Freedom becomes yours and you can fly as you want, because we know that in this stage of caterpillar, we could see that you are filled up with beauty. There are so many colors in you. You will make the world a living paradise. You will do many miraculous things, and your life will be so blossoming and beautiful, and you will be so free and dictate to your life. the tune of the weather you want to run with, or the wave of the air you want to also float with. So at that stage of caterpillar, while you are budding into a butterfly, we begin to suppress you. We call you names. We try to take away your confidence, because at the end of the tunnel of you rebelling against the existing system that does not put in your hand the agreement you had or what you deserve, is that life called the life of freedom. And so many colorful things await you there. So they will call you rebel, they will call you all sorts of names. I'm saying to you, embrace it. See, the process of change is initiated the moment the one who want the change accept that he is what they call him to be. He is what they call him to be. And before you know it, you will realize that whatsoever they call a Nazarene, uh, a Messiah, a Christ, a Savior, helper, the voice of the voiceless, the Savior of the world, the one who 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 is the good leader of the people, now begins to become your second name, because you chose to sacrifice, not because you put yourself into consideration alone, but because the lives of so many of these people right here is dependent on if you will raise up your voice and speak against tyranny. So I'm asking you today, what would you rather do? What would you rather do? So today we will go into the topic proper, and I enjoin you, if you are there and you ever appreciated whatever it is we do here, and if I've ever tried to help you in any way, I want you to help me spread the news by pressing your share button, so that as many people can be reached, and it will make the job easier. We won't need to be attending to the same topic over and over again in a new dimension. We want to reach wider coverage at the same time. Now, the art and beauty of rebellion, the second part, we're going to be taking it from the reason why mankind would rather be subjugated instead of them to rebel. If rebellion is beautiful, if rebellion is a sort of science and a kind of art, and this art is beautiful, why will mankind choose to be subjugated? Now, you must understand something about human nature and condescending, human nature and compromise, human nature and that place called the comfort zone. The comfort zone. You see, the beauty of mankind is also the downfall of mankind. The beauty of mankind is adaptability, adaptability, the ability to adapt to situation. And in adapting, we are evolving. We only embrace evolution through the instruments of adaptation. But as beautiful as adaptation could be, sometimes we do not harness the positive aspect of adaptation. We would rather embrace the negative aspect, not because it is totally negative, but because we do not aspire for more. The concept of extraordinary has been taken away from so many people. The idea that you can get what you deserve, the truth that you don't have to be a second and mankind or a second class citizen of this planet Earth, has been taken away from us at childbirth through one, the instrument of religion and politics. Politics will create artificial chaos, artificial poverty, artificial penury in the land, so that all men will not be able to assess what is basically their human right. So politics create the same thing that religion also create. Politics will give to you this mentality that some men, some selected few, some microscopic few men are the privileged one who are meant to be at the top cadre of the society or our echelon over the majority plenty. So we have few rich folks who can afford everything, and they even have everything they have in excess beyond what they need, while we have mammoth of crowd who can barely get by from one day to another day. So politics is a replica. Politics is a prototype of religion. So religion also bring about that subjugating mentality to you, either traditional religion, European religion, Arabian religion, whatever it is you call religion, always put majority of the number of masses under the control of selected few. So they give to you this mentality and the idea of there is one God that you have to obey at all cost. And in obedience to this God, all you need to do is to trust. When you trust this God, you do not have any right to query him. So they tell you that in all situations, what this God demands from you is to just give thanks. And in the process of giving thanks, even when the unpalatable experiences of life becomes your lot, you still give thanks even though it is not coming from within you. And so they also tell you that, do you not know that you are like a slave to this God, and it is a privilege that it keeps you alive? So because you are alive, you must, even though things are not working according to what they said they promised, still give thanks. Now, look at that. You were being forcefully bound under suppression, under subjection to constantly do things that is against your will. You are not happy, but you thank God. You are sad, but you thank God. Your children died, but you thank God. Your family are dead, but you lost your job, but you thank God. So religion tells you that you have no choice. And perpetually religion paints you and put you in this particular category of just common animal. So if I'm rearing animals, either they like it or not, they must obey me. If I kill you, it is for my good pleasure. In fact, I tell the animals that they should count it as a privilege that you are the one I'm choosing to kill now. So this the instrument of religion. The instrument of religion, first of all, captivated the mind of man and recklessly subjected man into this mentality of, I do not have a choice and I dare not raise a voice. So gradually the religion began to trickle down to those who are administering the religion to you. Those are called the men of God, the sheikh, the imam, the herbalist, and the priest, and the mammoth crowd of them who gradually now step forward in a very virtual and unsuspecting manner to be actually the replacement of the God they once sold to you. So you respect these men as you would respect God. You bow to these men as you will bow to God. You give all your belongings to these men because you have been taught that everything you own, have, or will be is given to you as a privilege and a gift from God. And if the owner say, give it back to me, you don't have to be hesitant. You release it. So in otherwise, the medium through which the owner of the gift gets it back from you is through these selected few men in your society and your gathering. So from childbirth, a child was trained up either in a Muslim way, in Christian way, whatever way, a religious manner, was trained up to live as a slave of an invisible God, which is going to now be well explained and obvious to the child that the invisible God has some visible representative. The invisible God has some visible representative. And whatever it is, whatever respect you can give to the invisible God, you must also give to the visible one as a child. So imagine that you have heard all this and you have lived like this from age 0 to age 7, which is your hypnosis age where you form hypothesis, age where you think this is the way of life, age that every data you have gathered, processed so far can never be taken away from you till you die. Imagine that the first exposure to life is the mentality of slavery. You see how it's going to be difficult for you when even your politicians are taking away your money and not fulfilling their campaign promises, are living at your expense. You see how difficult it's going to be for you to protest, to revolt, to go out and demand that the evolution you promised us is not what you are doing. We need a recontract, a reenactment of that evolution. And unfortunately, in the continent of Africa, we are the most religious. The most religious continent has always proven to be the purest continent because we place men in the place of God and because we do not even know God. So I often say that blind people are not those who cannot see. Blind people are those who do not know who and what God is. Blind people are not those who cannot see. Blind people are those who do not know who and what God is. The moment you replace someone else with who you are, you live the rest of your life as a slave. The moment you think someone else is your God aside from you. See, what is the function of a God in a human society? The function of a God in a human society is to tell you what you want to be, is to tell you how to go, is to tell you how to live your life, is to tell you how to spend your money, is to tell you if you're going to be dying or you're going to be living. So now look at those very, very crucial and important aspects of your life that from a normal thinking, common sense, you ought to be the one who dictate those decisions. But you now relinquish it into the hand of who it is that you have never seen, you've never met. You do not even have a proof of its existence. So we were trained up in Africa, in every home, every background, every particular settlement in Africa to relinquish the decision of if we are going to be successful into the hand of another man, if we are going to fail into the hand of another man. We go out of our house, enter into a bus and begin to ask the bus conductor, which is the favorite bus stop for me to highlight. He can as well just tell you that this where you bought the bus is where you should stop. So in implication, that says that shows that sometimes if you leave the decision of how long you're going to live in this planet Earth to the hand of God, it can as well tell you to die today. But is that what you want? No. Why do you leave the decision in the hand of God or the hand of the man of God? Why? The situation where we go to other people to ask how and what shouldn't even arise in the civilization of mankind at all. Because the moment you begin to look at someone or looking up to someone as the author, the finisher, and the one who dictates how you're going to be original, how you're going to be quality, how you're going to be survive, how you're going to survive, how you are going, the length and breadth to which you can grow and grow in life, you have become a slave. And there is nothing you can do about it. Only you can live as a second-hand citizen. And your life forever will forever be the second version of the life of the one who told you what to do. Those are crucial decisions. Those are crucial decisions. Those are things that even you as a parent do not have the right to tell your child what to study, where to go, and how to live their life. The best and the highest you can do as a parent is to give them options and show them the consequences of the options and tell them to choose. But look at our lives today as an African. We look up to the outsiders. We look up to the Westerners. We look up to the God in the sky. We look up to the men of God as a liberator and a dictator of our life. And what happens when you are governed or ruled by a dictator? You live in perpetual misery. You live in the state of perpetual sadness. Communism becomes the order of the day. So the feeling of one man dictates the joy or happiness of mammoth of crowd. And in that particular situation, the only way out is rebellion. And say, no, I'm taking my life back from you. You're not going to run my life anymore. If this wasn't the promise, why? So you could see how mankind entered into a state of subjugation where you are ruled and conveniently you see nothing wrong in it. Nothing wrong in it. Say the sky is wide enough for birds to fly without colliding. You could be an inventor, you could be a creator, but because you have been reduced in mentality that 8 to 5 is enough for you, so you subject all your gift, all your right, all your confidence into the hand of the one who took the same step that you could have taken to get to where he is right now. So the one you subjected your life to dictate how you live it. The one you bow your life to, the one that pays for your time, can dictate your lifespan. I said again, the one you submit your time to, the one you subject your time to, can only it's the one who will dictate your lifespan. So if you want to leave, they tell you there's no chance for you to go and leave. If you are sick, they tell you no chance to go to the hospital. If you are sad, they tell you just do my work. Some even tell you that you have not been paid to think outside the box. You have been paid to work with the policy on ground. So whenever you say that you want to be the second-hand citizen in any nation, either in your family or whatever, what you do is you leave the determination of your lifespan in the hand of another person. Look at how beautiful that is. If you could take charge of your life, look at how beautiful that is. Now, that's why they always call you rebel. And it's a beautiful thing if you are called a rebel. Now, we move on to the next step. We're asking ourselves today, how can rebellion start? How can we start an effective rebellion? Effective rebellion can start by making up your mind with one singular statement that if you perish, you perish. Because those who have not reconciled with death can never achieve life. Those who are yet to reconcile with death, those who are still scared of, I don't want to die. Oh, I don't want to die now. Okay, what if I die? What will happen to you? They can never achieve life. When you say, do your worst to a man that has always victimized you, that day you say, do your worst, that is the last day he will ever do anything worse to you. Have you ever bothered that a man or a woman always victimizing you and all that, and that day you stood up to them and say, please, madam, Oga, do your worst? That day it will feel, they look as if cold water was poured on them. And what is the worst that life can give to you is death. But do you know death is one of the most beautiful things that you should expect eagerly every day? Death. Because death in itself is the beginning of life. If we don't have pain, we will not know relief. If there is no sadness, nobody will come up with a word of joy. No. If there is no turmoil, nobody will come up with comfort. Okay? And if there is no death, no one will ever think that this is life. So what is the worst thing you can lose? What is the worst thing you can lose? Knowing fully well that lives of so many people is dependent on you. It may not look at it like it now, but if you are persistent enough, it doesn't take time for mankind to leave that crowd space and come to you and say, what exactly are you driving at? And most people who have been a successful rebel in life are those who are unapologetic about their nature, their personality, their individuality. Their focus is on the goal that I deserve better. And no matter what the world say, I am deaf to mediocrity. I will launch for what I want. And in no time, the same people who tells you what is wrong with you, who ask you, what are you doing, will be the same who tells you, how are you doing it? And they will now begin to come and say, can we do it with you? But I see that the more the planet Earth increases in age, the lesser quality mankind is feeling the planet itself. We have people who relish temporary joy, temporary happiness, temporary success. You want to trend on time. You want to just go viral on time. You will do anything to lick any feet and lick any behind to just step up somehow. So I see a lot of young people filled up with so much beautiful content, loving and lovely people who can start a new spectacular thing in life, but would rather go to say yes, sir, and be a slave of another person who is already a popular face, thinking that if I lynch on this person, I will get to the limelight on time. See what I'm telling you? I'm telling you that you can never be as original as the one you are leveraging on. You will always be a dog, an underdog of the one under whose shadow you choose to leverage. And I must tell you, it's not easy to branch out and be outstanding. It's not easy. It's not easy. So the lifespan of a goat is way longer than the lifespan of a sheep. Why? There's one thing that is different from them. One is a rebel, the other trust and obey. The other trust and obey. So while the sheep will say, okay, I want to leverage on the popularity, on the face, on the goodness, on the achievement and the success of the shepherd to just get to the promised land. In no time, the shepherd take a corner, start a fire, and roast the sheep. But a goat say, no, I will find my own path. I will not allow anybody to be the one who goes ahead of me. I will find my own path. And so the lifespan of a goat most times is always longer than that of a sheep. So I see a lot of young people these days who want a ready-made thing. They love it when they can enter into the rest of the things that other people have done. Enter into rest. Claim it. I claim it. I receive it. All this, I claim it by faith, people. So rebellion starts with one single man who is ready to give it all, first by reconciling with death and saying that the highest that can happen is that I will die. See, the moment you say the highest that can happen is that I will die, you may not live so long in terms of lifespan, but life in its totality will begin to happen to you. And you will marvel at how much fun and adventure that is in life itself the moment you look at death in the face and say, if you want to do your worst, do it now. For all I care, the fear of the unknown always kills those who run away from it. The moment you face the fear becomes paralyzed. That is how rebellion starts. That's how heroes are made. Not because they are looking for popularity or name, but because they saw something they could change and they choose to be the one who changed it. What will it cost you to live a very normal, quiet life, just follow the crowd, die, and we forget you in a jiffy? Compare it to those who live a very radical life, stood for a cause, and fight for it till death. They may not live long, but we remember them till today. That is the beauty of rebellion. Rebellion only starts with one man, not a crowd. So if you are the kind of person that is looking for crowd and popularity, and telling you. So for the people of the future generation, the age of the Aquarius, when they step into it, I know for sure I will not be alive in this body in the age of the Aquarius, but you will listen to this video. Right now, as I speak to you, I have just 2 people listening to me right now, but I preach with a passion I will use to preach to 2 million people. And that is what we call rebellion, because you believe in this thing. And it doesn't matter if you have the crowd around you or you do not have the crowd around you. If it is the truth, it remains the truth all of the time without string attached. We live in an era where how many people watched your video, how many people react to your post online determines how relevant you are. The impression you get on your post determines if you are valuable, even if you are senseless and empty. And yet we want a change, we want transformation when the parameters that we use to measure value is nothing but a fluke. We want something transgenerational. We want something that transforms people. We want something that will outlive us. We want something that will take us from where we are to where we are supposed to be. But the parameters to measure our value is nothing but nonsense. So I speak to you today, and I say to you that come, rebellion is the most beautiful gift that nature has ever bestowed on you, because through rebellion, you evolve from one stage of your life to another stage of your life until you get to where you are headed and where you deserve. It may not be so easy, but I'm saying that if you do the easy thing, your life will be hard. And if you do the hard things, your life will be easy. Today, I close with this as we continue some other time. A certain man had died. Gone to heaven. And he got to heaven and the joke, smoking weed. And they check his record so that he's a good person. He deserves to go to heaven. Not because I believe in heaven or hell. I'm just telling you a story, just a fiction story. And Angel Peter said, okay, you deserve to get to heaven, but would you mind to go to hell just to view? He threw tantrum and later he understood what it was. Said, okay, let's go. So all his belief while on earth was that hell is below, heaven is above. But when they got into the elevator, or they lived, the direction was going up. And the man started, I don't trust you guys. Hell is supposed to be down. Heaven is supposed to be up. Why are you taking me up? You said we're going to hell. And Angel Peter said, just calm down. And then they opened this door and he saw people in jacuzzi, swimming, lavishing, drinking, activities there. And he was like, well, if hell could be like this, then heaven must be fantastic. Oh, let's go to heaven. It must be full of fun. Everything I missed on earth, I must get it here. And when they got to heaven, he saw that people were just floating in a white gown, everybody minding their business, singing a very sad song. The thing they sang yesterday is what they are singing every time, just repeating the same routine. People looking so gloomy, even though there is order, but it was true. And he said to himself, I'd rather go to hell. There is activity there. I deprive myself of all these things on earth. I can't come here and continue this lifestyle. And Peter asked, are you sure? Yeah. Final decision? Yeah. And so they took him to hell. But this time he saw something else. When he got to hell this time, he saw desert. He saw fire sprouting up from the soil, people looking so famished and so tattered, so battered, so slim and all that. Malnutrition people. And he said, see what I'm saying? You guys have started your fraud again. The hell we came to the other time was beautiful, was awesome. Why do we come to this place and you show me the real hell? And the interpreter told him that you see the hell you saw the first time is actually the hell. But there's a process to get to that kind of hell. So you see these people looking famished? They are working out their own kind of hell. See, how much work they put into this desert will determine how much fun they will get in hell. You see, those people in heaven, they are slaves of their own mental space. They are lazy. They are covetous. They love to enter into rest that they did not work for. So whoever governs the heaven governs their life. And they have no choice. They can't even raise objection to say we are not convenient with this. They dare not say a word because they don't have a stake in how the place was. But those in hell created, if you want a mansion, you will have to build it for yourself. You want a better life, you have to build it for yourself. You want music in your own house, you have to make it work. It says sometimes those people you saw in jacuzzi having fun, sometimes take a break to come here to work more for them to upgrade in their health. It says, so I tell you, you have one option. Say that you work out the kind of hell you will go to. How will take you to the real hell, which you think is heaven? And the man said, I will have things done. I will put my behind into this desert and create the kind of hell I want for myself. So, my friend, I tell you today, what is it that you're looking for and waiting for someone else to come do for you? That is how rebellion starts. When you look inward you and you say, I deserve better, and begin to get to work to create what you deserve. And in doing that, you are not only helping your life, you are also saving lives of other people. My name is Greatman Ayilara. And till the next time I see you again, where we will continue this particular series, we have two more points to buttress on the art and beauty of rebellion. This is what I want you to do. Just follow the instruction that is scrolling below. You can follow me on my social media platform, Facebook and Instagram at the Greatman Ayilara. And if you're yet to be on my YouTube platform, go to YouTube, type Greatman Ayilara, and you will be there directly accessing so many data and resources, either the one I've done online or offline also. And I also want to show you this particular course that is coming up Saturday, the 9th of May. Again, this is what I want you to know, that there is more in you than you have ever thought of. You don't need life, you are the life itself. You are the salt of the world. Do you often just go to places and just shine your light on them? You are the salt of the world. Do you go to places to preserve lives? You are the word of life. What comes out of your mouth? When people see you, do they see God? Are you a solution to lives, or you are an equation? And don't forget that there's more to you than what you already know. You want to be absolutely complete as a human being and have this quality life too, to be able to exert so much wisdom. Join us on the Seeker platform. You meet so many like-minded people there who are totally free from the old of religion, politics, and the rest of it, who reason like human being, who reason like divine being, who are able to provide solution without sentiment. Thank you very much for listening, and namaste.